this is Dom from Black Toad Studio, and welcome to episode 4 of the Awakening of the Toadak Dynasty. In this series, we will document the gradual growth of my Necron force from a standard battlefield army to an apocalyptic legion, ready to take on any opponent that stands in my way. So each episode I will introduce a new unit to the Toadak Dynasty. I will also give you guys the option of picking between 2 units for me to paint next. So without further ado, on the last episode I gave you guys the option of myself painting the Overlord or Necron Warriors. It was a close call, people, and by a narrow margin, the Necron Warriors won. Great. So I will be painting 10 Necron Warriors for the next installment for the series. But I have been painting, and I have painted some nice little models. So without further ado, let's have a quick look at those models. So first up here we have got the Royal Warden. Quite a fun model to paint actually, and quite an interesting model because he's a little bit different to the rest of my army and what I actually have. Obviously he takes the form more of a warrior than anything else, although in the narrative I'd probably say he falls more under the immortals, and a high ranking immortal at that, rather than the warriors, although he is armed with a relic Gauss blaster. So a bit different to what I currently have in my army. So this was a challenge in itself, because generally in my army I've kind of ignored Gauss weapons, or Gauss weapons, however you want to pronounce it. I've tended to go towards Tesla. So I was umming and ahhing what to do with the paint scheme there, and fundamentally I have gone back with doing the blue. I was tempted to try a green effect, but I think the blue is very striking with the rust effect, so I kind of stuck with it there. So, you know, maybe not as accurate as it could have been, but I think once the warriors are painted as well with this paint scheme, it will look pretty awesome. So the Royal Warden, for those who are unfamiliar with his rules, he has got movement 6, weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness of 5, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 10, and a 3+ save. So keeping in mind as well that he also has living metal, which will help him regenerate wounds if he is targeted. Although really you're going to be putting him with a big blob of troops near your main infantry, so he's not really going to be targetable. And if he is targeted, regaining 1 wound, it'd be interesting to see if he can, you know, survive much from assassination attempts, as it were. He's also got a couple of other rules in there as well. So he's got Relentless March, which is his aura ability. So that's for core units, which will increase their movement by 1. So your Necron Warriors and your Immortals get a little bit faster than they were before, so it puts them up to speed of everything else, which I think is quite a good little rule there. They've also got Adaptive Strategy as well, so you can select a friendly core unit that has fallen back, and that unit will then be eligible to charge and shoot, which I think is quite interesting as well. So if you get your squad of warriors stuck in combat and you want to fall out and have another round of shooting, or put a bit more fire into that squad that are attacking your warriors and then engage them again, great, go for it. I think he's quite a useful little unit when it comes to that. His gun's quite tasty as well. So he's got the relic Gauss blaster, which is range 30, rapid fire 2, strength 5, AP -2, and 2 damage. So that AP, if I'm probably going to be running Methrit, will be -3. Which I think is pretty tasty, and I kind of want to see what a couple of these guys would do. But yes, I'm quite happy it has turned out on the model. Like the blue effects popped quite nicely there. I put some pictures up on Instagram as well, because I'm not sure how well this is coming out. Got a nice bit of rust effect on the back onto his pauldrons there. So as I said in the previous one with the destroyers, the Royal Dynasty would have a brass effect defining them, rather than the outcasts. We'll be having black. So yeah, it's very cool. I like this, and the effects on the base there are looking quite cool as well. So it wasn't just them. Let's have a look at my other units. So Scarabs, that's what else I was painting, which were quite nice and refreshing to paint. It wasn't that hard. It was nice and straightforward. I hadn't painted Scarabs for a very long time. The last time I painted Scarabs when I first got into Necrons and the first plastic kit came out, and that was supplied with Scarabs. When I had those, it was a different paint scheme. My painting has changed a bit since then, and yeah, it's a lot nice. These Scarabs are a lot nicer. I think what I quite liked about these models as well is if you look here, the Scarabs are different sizes to each other, which I think is quite nice. Makes them a little bit different from just a swarm of the same size bugs. And I'm glad I got them in there because they will fit a role within the army, which is much needed. Although under fast attack, I've already got a few things in fast attack at the moment. So it's going to be interesting how I'm going to change that up. Maybe I'm going to have to run an Outrider instead of maybe a Vanguard and a Battalion. So the Scarabs, movement 10, weapon skill 4, strength and toughness 3, 4 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 6+ save, which isn't too bad in itself. They also have reanimation protocols. So I'm not sure how good reanimation protocols are going to be on these guys. They do have living metal, however, which is quite nice with 4 wounds, and they will be regaining wounds gradually, and depending how you play them as well, because if you put them onto an objective, they could be quite useful because they're quite a small profile, as you can see here, so they can hide quite nicely. As for their attacks, they have got feeder mandibles, so that is strength of user, so strength 3, damage 1. The ability is, each time an attack is made with this weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds the target. So interesting if that's going to be much use. Obviously they've got 4 attacks, so there's 12 attacks between them, and they could get a couple of 6s in there, but really I think they're going to be a bit more tactical play than necessarily getting them in combat. So yeah, I enjoyed painting these. Once I get some more characters going for the Toadak Dynasty, we're probably going to introduce a few more Scarab bases as well and get some nice big wad of Scarabs to chase towards people. Now, I've got one more thing to show you guys, which I have been painting as well on the side. However, these models don't have their own series, so I'm going to sneak them into this one if you don't mind. Let's have a look what else I have been painting. So this is what else I've been painting. So as well as doing my Necron force at the moment, I'm also doing a force for Crusade with some friends of mine, and I was selected Imperium to play, and I had to pick an army that I hadn't collected or didn't currently own, and Sisters of Battle are the ones I've chosen. So I've talked about these ladies on stream a couple of times. If you haven't watched our stream on a Tuesday night, if not, why not? Go and check it out. And I absolutely love these models. So I've slowly been painting them. I've got to do 1 unit a month. So I started on a Dominion squad. However, those who know Sisters will notice that there is one model that shouldn't be there, and it's the heavy bolter at the back, because Dominions are special weapons and they can't have a heavy weapon there, so that heavy bolter's got to go. So my thoughts are the heavy bolter. I'm going to put that into my Battle Sister squad that I've currently got, and I've got another box of Sisters, so I'm going to make a couple more Storm Bolters, well, 1 more Storm Bolter and a combi bolter for the leader of the squad. Another Battle Sister squad. But yeah, really cool models. I love painting the scheme. It's quite nice as well. The greens are quite nice to do, quite different, and it kind of looks quite nice with the highlighting and the dry brushing and the glazes there. So I'm quite proud of these. They're pretty awesome, and I look forward to trying to build the collection as we're all in lockdown once more. It's quite nice to do something a bit different there. So they're my Sisters. Now I'm going to go back to seeing what I'm going to be painting next, and giving you guys a choice of what is going to be awakening next for the Toadak Dynasty. So there you go. That is my Royal Warden, some Scarabs and some Sisters of Battle. Sorry about Sisters of Battle. I just thought I'd sit them in there because they're quite cool models, and I have been doing other things as well. Right, so I'm going to go off and start painting 10 Necron warriors. But after I finish painting those 10 Necron warriors, what would you guys like me to paint? The options are, drum roll please, 2 Canoptic Reanimators, very cool and imposing models. I quite like these. I haven't had a chance to paint them yet. I think they're going to look quite nice in my paint scheme. We will see. Or 10 more Necron warriors. Okay, so then that will put me up to 20 Necron warriors in one squad, or 2 squads of 10. It's up to you what you pick. Hopefully you won't make me paint 10 more Necron warriors, and I can paint something different. But whatever you feel would look good in the Toadak Dynasty, please let me know, put a comment below. What are your thoughts? What would you like me to put in? And did you like the Royal Warden and the Scarabs? So put those below, guys. As always, thank you very much for your support. I hope you've all had a great holiday, and you're looking after yourselves. But until next time, guys, this is Dom from Black Toad Studios. Take care.